The 113-pound match here in the GMC Championship. And the white is Joe Fiordaliso from Monroe, and in the red uniform from Perth Amboy, Joe Pacheco. Fiordaliso a sophomore, Pacheco a senior, and he's very familiar to you, Mike.
As you do or do not know, I was the head wrestling coach of Perth Amboy for 29 years, and Joe is certified at 106. He's now at 113 for today, so they got to make a decision. He has to make a decision where he wants to go as the year goes on. But Joe's been a hard worker, and I feel happy for him.
Got in on a leg and went for the takedown, and he is working right away. He wants to turn this quickly. Fiordaliso was the 7th place finisher here last year at 106, took 3rd in the districts, and for Pacheco, he was 2nd here in the tournament, and a region finisher, 2nd place there.
Yeah, Joe had a interesting year last year. 2nd in the district, 2nd in the counties, 2nd in the in the region. Made it to the States. I think he had a little phobia in the finals there, but hey, he's matured. Only got 1 loss. That was at 113 to the Decker kid from Seton Hall at 13. So, we'll see what happens in the future. If he's going to decide to go 106 or he's going to stay at 13. We don't know yet.
Pacheco 23-1 in the season. Fiordaliso 19-5. And Pacheco very strong, very much controlling this match with that tight waist. He's tried a couple of tilts, hasn't been able to control it and get score out of it, but we have about 30 seconds to go here in the first period. Joe Pacheco from Perth Amboy in the red on top 2-0.
I coached Joe's father back in the day. That's how old I am.
It's getting the point. I coached him. I taught him. I taught her. Yeah. And they're like adults with teenage kids. So we both we're in the same boat.
Yeah. And it's good to see a lot of these coaches. A lot of coaches were wrestling when we were coaching.
Yeah, yes.
And they've grown to young men. They're leading their programs. And, they're all catching up to us.
Well, the coach at Spotswood, who's not in the finals, Matt Merrigan, was, I coached him in recreation. Mm-hmm. And so it goes back a long way, and he's now come full circle. He's teaching and coaching at Spotswood, and it is nice to see your kids come around. We got a caution on Pacheco there. But, when you see the kids that you've worked with, or even kids you've coached against, rising and continuing in the sport, and as we always keep saying, you got to grow the sport.
Yeah.
Closing seconds of the first period. Pacheco trying to bring Fiordaliso down. Brings him down on himself with the locked hands. And at the very end, he's going to have a violation and a point scored against him. So it's 2-1. Joe Pacheco. The 113-pound weight class, by the way, is sponsored by Pacheco Truck Road Service of Perth Amboy.
That's his father.
With a variety of diesel truck and roadside services, Pacheco Truck Road Service will have you on your way in no time. Call 732-881-7473. Pacheco Truck Road Service of Perth Amboy, the 113-pound sponsor. We go to the second period with Fiordaliso on top, trailing 2-1.
Well, Fiordaliso is a lot taller. Joe's going to have to get out of here. He cannot afford to get ridden out.
Unlike in college, there is no riding time, and there are probably a lot of young viewers who don't even know what riding time is. Fiordaliso has got a leg in, and it looks like he's trying to get a Turk.
He's got him tied up here.
And they get a stalemate.
This is his only way to negate him because, let me tell you, Joe's probably pound for pound the strongest kid in this tournament. I've seen him on a leg press almost do 500, weighing 110 pounds, so.
He's shorter.
He is short.
He's shorter, stockier, a little more length for Fiordaliso, which gives him a little advantage if he's going to throw in legs. As he seems to be trying a little bit. We're coming up on 1:10 to go here in the second period.
Well, this is a good strategy by Fiordaliso, and we'll see where it takes us. He's got Joe pretty much tied up here, and he's doing the right thing with the legs, and Joe's going to have to keep working up.
He's got a leg in. Controlling Pacheco. Not much action there. He's trying to get the power half in. Putting the pressure on. 45 seconds go here in the second.
Well, once again, height versus short and strength. So we have to see where this goes. All right, and you can see the size difference. You know, he's almost 6 inches taller, and you know he's ridden him out the whole period. You know, it's going to be interesting third period here. How this all goes.
Again, Fiordaliso is committed to putting in those legs, and Pacheco fighting it with 15 seconds to go here in the period.
He's trying to get out, and he's out.
He gets the escape.
That was a big point. Big point.
3-1 Pacheco lead right now here as the second period comes to a close. And as they go out of bounds with the score 3-1 in favor of Pacheco, just to mention that Bestway Trucking Service, a leader in the trucking and courier industry in the tri-state area, is one of our sponsors. Visit bestwaytrucking.us or call 973-882-3111. Pacheco on top here in the third period. Fiordaliso needs some points.
Well, what's our Pacheco in the first period? Locked hands, and it seems like he's locked hands again.
It was a little quick, I thought, but
very quick.
But it was the alternate official gave the signal, and then now a second point for Fiordaliso on the violation of locking hands.
Well, he's got to let him up now.
They're not in the right position right now. They've got to set that. Fiordaliso is still down here in the third period. And I'm wondering if, considering he gave up those two violations, should he let him go?
And he is. I would let him up. I mean, the kid's got all his points on violations. You know, it's a shame. But that's part of the sport. This is part of the sport.
Little strategy now. Pacheco, who got the first takedown in the first period, lets Fiordaliso up. They're going to start on their feet now here in the third with a minute and a half to go. Fiordaliso in on the leg, good counter, and a good sprawl by Pacheco. Real good sprawl. Clearing his leg.
Angle, the front face lock here. He's got to get an angle, get behind. You know, I don't know how much longer the referee's going to let this go. No, he's got the side now. He's behind him.
He's still got the leg, barely, but he gave him two.
He's got two. Now, looks like he's trying to get some back points here.
He's got to keep his head up as he turns him over, and they're going to call what, a potentially dangerous?
I don't know.
We have blood time for green, which is Monroe. And during this timeout, this blood timeout, sponsored by Dr. Ed Marion of Home Care Rehab. Ed is a longtime referee, a friend of Middlesex County Wrestling. He is a licensed physical therapist that brings care straight to your home. Visit dremarion.com or call 732-610-2528.
I thought that second locked hands call was real quick. You know, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is.
I would tend to agree. I mean, it was kind of they brought him back down.
Both of them were kind of shaky. I mean, you know, one was called with a second and the other one right at the end. So, hey, referees make the call. You got to live with them, and what are you going to do?
Carlos Socia was the assistant who signaled first because Tim Flynn was on the other side as they came down. And then the signal, and so once that happens, wrestling stops. The point is awarded, and we have a 5-3 lead. Joe Pacheco in front with just under a minute to go. There's a little blood on the mat, and so they're going to clean that up.
No, they got to make a decision now whether to let the kid go. Joe, realize, two locked hands. Next one is 2 points.
I don't know. Well, my thought right now was let him go. He's gotten two takedowns.
And right here, the kid started bleeding. Joe was putting him on his back.
Right. Winners could be in the
neutral.
Table at this
I think this is the right call here.
So 3 points for Fiordaliso here in the third period. He trails by 1. Joe Pacheco on their feet now. Pacheco has had 2 takedowns. He has a 1-point lead here at 113 pounds in the GMC Finals from Piscataway High School.
Well, Joe's strategy is just to wait and block.
He gets in on the leg. He's got him. He keeps him inside, and no score yet. And there's the 2.
Let him go!
13 seconds to go here at 113 pounds.
Well, he'd be smart to let him go now.
Absolutely.
If he doesn't, it's 2 points. You can't let these kids back in the match.
He's doing it again. He's let him go. He scored.
The only point the kid scored was the one escape. Everything else was.
Well, they were all escapes that Pacheco awarded him, gave him. He didn't really escape. He gave it him. We are coming down the closing seconds. Joe Pacheco, a 7-5 lead, and Joe Pacheco, a 113-pound championship here at 113 pounds in the GMC Finals.
Well, I know Joe's not happy, but he's got a smile. Joe's a very intense kid, and you know, giving the match away like that sometimes, this is what happens. A lot of locked hands calls, and Joe is very upset, but he won the match.